This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hi,
G'day,
everybody.
guys.
We had a lot of fun today.
Oh,
We did.
Natalie.
We had so much fun. We talked about our strong principles in relation to Jason Bateman.
Yeah, we did.
Because he's
once
an
we-
asshole.
Yes,
We can say that because we're on the podcast.
that's yeah. Different rules apply. We also talked to people about the sort of flimsy reason that the police might have been called. Some cracking stories there.
We had a guest earlier on too, Rueben Kaye, comedian.
We find out that we work with a Mauritian.
That was full on.
Not just that, a Bahamian.
A Bahamian.
Which
It's so strange.
extraordinary.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean
Nathan, Nat and Sean
on Nova.
on Nova 937. Let's go.
It's 6:05. Nathan, Nat and Sean. Happy Tuesday, friends.
Yes.
Good to be here on a Tuesday. I mean, everything's half price, isn't it, on Tuesdays? No? Is that
Everything.
still rocking,
Everything. You
rolling,
can
or
just
what?
walk in and everything's half price.
Movies? Have you been to the movies on a Tuesday recently?
I'm in
No.
prison. It's a work night.
It's a work day.
I don't know what the world offers on Tuesdays anymore. I used to when I was younger. I'd go to the Moon Cafe for
Carefree.
half price pasta. I'd know all the haunts.
Pizza Hut all you can eat used to be like half price. Remember, you used to touch
All you can eat for half price just seems fundamentally wrong. It should be either half price or all you can eat.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. Tuesday nights I only go out when I'm on break. Isn't that sad?
Yeah. No, don't go out on Tuesday night. No way. No way, mate.
If you're a kid that's woken up early for some reason, when you're an adult, it's disgusting.
Yeah, don't complain about going to school. It's not the
I
hardest
do
thing.
not complain
You see your
about your
mates every
geography
day.
homework.
Exactly.
Come on. Today,
So anyway.
we are looking for our 7th car for our 10K drive-through, which is happening this Friday, where our car is going to drive away very happily with $10,000.
I know, it's not bad, is it? First class and 50K, another boarding call. We'll be picking another name, and if you've got that name, you could be living at large.
Absolutely. We're going to catch up with comedian Rueben Kaye just,
Not too far away, actually, yeah.
Book for Holiday You this summer.
Because Aussies act a little different on holiday. More daring, relaxed, and sometimes more fancy.
And What If has all kinds of accommodation to suit your style. Book your next getaway on the What If app. What If? It's Aussie for travel.
Time to catch up with, I think it's safe to say, our favourite cabaret performer of all time.
A real underdresser.
Oh, yeah, he's calmed it right down for us today.
Live in our Melbourne studios. He's been to Perth many times and he's coming back again. We'll give you those details in a minute. Rueben Kaye, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, even across the span of this amazing country here in Melbourne. Can you smell the lattes? Can you smell a population of people so middle class, if they had a stroke, they'd smell burning brioche?
Hey, Ruben, we can see you, but you can't see us, I believe, this morning. You look amazing. I'm glad you can't see us because we basically roll out of bed and chuck a hat on. Well, us boys do anyway.
Why don't you talk to us?
That looks better.
Talk to us about your ensemble. Like, what
My ensemble today, I don't know what to say. I'm just in bunny slippers and a dressing gown.
There's a little bit more, sparkle to that.
Look, I'm in a suit that is so tight, if I had to... I can't say it. I can't even say the things. It's too early. It's too filthy. I'm in a very tight suit. If I had real cow's milk at this moment, I'd have to Shawshank Redemption it out the thigh. It's a hot pink ensemble. It's a 3-piece, and I'm using it to cover my trauma.
Right. Okay.
Now, Ruben, I think it was last year, the people that decide what's fashionable were pushing the agenda of male brooches, saying it can really jazz up an outfit.
Sure.
And I remember saying to you, Sean, you shouldn't be scared of a male
Yes.
brooch.
And clearly, Ruben, you're not.
What do you think about male brooches? Talk to us.
I'll tell you right now, I'm coming to you off the back of pride, possibly literally in that metaphor. And I will tell you now, you should never be frightened of something big and shiny on your chest. As long as you can scrape it off in the morning, you're fine.
Hey, Ruben, how much sleep did you get over the weekend? Are you basically still going?
Sleep is for the weak and the heterosexual. I do not have time for sleep. It's the end of the world and I'm on tour.
Can I just say, right, so you know when the Melbourne Cup's on and then they show everybody at the end of the day the Melbourne
in
Cup
hedges and stuff.
carrying their shoes and stuff?
Yeah.
I thought that's the lowest point. No, the lowest point is seeing people go home from Pride.
Yes.
Because it's the next day, a glittery silver G-string in the harsh daylight with a one broken feathered wing.
you.
It is
And a
Ruben.
slightly askew wig. Yes.
Excuse me, that is an integral moment in Pride and Mardi Gras. There is no festival. There is no festival without the walk of shame, and it is not a walk of shame. It is a stagger of accomplishment.
True that. Now, you are bringing your show live and intimidating to the Regal Theatre, which is just we're looking out the window at it now. It's just across the road from us, Rueben. What's happening in this show? Talk us through it.
So Live and Intimidating is sort of the follow-up to my last show in Perth, The Butch is Back. But this is... thank you very much. I'm very clever. I'm very good.
Yes, we love
a lot
pun.
of awards.
Yes.
It's calm, it's quiet, it's unassuming, it's classy. It's the kind of show you could enjoy with a martini as long as instead of an olive you had a Valium. But at the same time, just like Mama used to have, it's at the same time, it's still filthy, it's still political, it's still very much me and a three-piece band, and we're taking over the Regal Theatre. I can't wait.
Is there going to be some singing, Rueben? We're going to see some singing?
You'll see some singing, of course there is. What, do you want me to write jokes for a full hour? No, some songs as well. I've got to pad that stuff down. We're bringing up some of our favourite songs. You've got a bit of Carole King there. You've got a bit of Bobby Gentry. And then you've got some people you might have never even heard of. And then, of course, we've got a great Harry Nilsson number, Without You, which we've just done at the Sydney Opera House. I did my Sydney Opera House debut. And I tell you what, that Sydney Opera House crowd, they had not seen anything like this in the Joan Sutherland Theatre.
Hey, Rueben, have you mastered the TikToks yet?
I have mastered, I have slaved, I have dommed, and I have subbed the TikToks. I am the master of 30-second content, and many football players can attest to that.
I was going to say, TikTok, I could never, I just can't approach it because everything looks too clever. Like, you know what I mean? Everything, like, even when they put their head down and lift their head up and they're wearing a different outfit, I couldn't do it.
It's too much.
Yeah, but you see, you're not meant to think that you can do it because, I mean, look at you, you can't. You think it just looks smarter, but you think it looks too smart, but that's just because you think it looks smarter than you. And in that, maybe you're right. I think the thing about TikTok is it really takes a fast processing kind of capability. And due to the fact that I was diagnosed with ADHD at a young age but never medicated, it really is the art form and the media for me.
Yeah, you really can't tell.
You have made ADHD work for you, though, haven't you?
Well, not for my parents' marriage, but definitely for my career.
You're funny.
You are funny. Guess what? We've got a couple of tickets to your show that we're going to give away right now, Rueben. Are you okay with that? With people getting a freebie?
Absolutely can. Give them away. Yeah. I'm the Mother Teresa of cabaret, and I'll probably get all the bad press when I die as well.
Do you take note of the free seat numbers so you can point out the people that decided not to pay instead of just winning the ticket? You really should.
Do you know what? Because of the lashes, they're a bit like a homosexual glaucoma. I can barely see the stage.
Yeah. They're impressive.
We have a Double to Rueben show on Friday, May the 5th at the Regal Theatre. If you'd like to win that, you need to call now 13 24 10.
Caller number 7 is going to walk away with those.
Yeah. Everybody else can go to perthcomedyfestival.com to buy tickets to Rueben Kaye's Live and Intimidating. It's always a pleasure, Rueben. Maybe when you're in town, you can come in and visit us in the studio.
It would be a dream. It's the only thing I want to do when I'm in Perth. Is come to a radio station and
it's
talk
across
about
the road. It's pretty convenient.
To you three.
Yeah.
And maybe you can spend your time right now, because I know this interview will resonate with you. Maybe you can spend your time finding a male brooch to present Sean when you come into the studio. Be nice. And then Sean can wear it for a week to different things.
I think if I'm giving Sean anything, it's not something he's going to be able to get rid of just by unpinning it.
I'll need a toothbrush, though.
I think that's a great place to say goodbye, Rueben Kaye. Thank you.
It's a pleasure for being here.
You're a joy.
See you, buddy.
Thank you.
Bye. This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
The SAG Awards were on yesterday.
Yes, all them.
Zendaya.
Oh,
She
so
looks
beautiful.
amazing.
Daya, we don't bang on about fashion too much, although we already talked about male brooches this morning. But her pink dress with those
flowers,
rosettes,
yeah.
she is neck level.
I'm giving her a 15 out of 10.
She looked amazing.
That's amazing.
That's the
for
highest score
you.
I'd ever give
That
anybody.
is.
Let's revisit her when she turns 40 and see what you give her.
You know my answer?
You'll be about 65 by the time that happens, but sure.
Yeah, I didn't watch the SAG Awards, never do.
No.
But I always go through to make sure that, they are choosing the right people.
So
and
White
the right
Lotus?
programs to win. White Lotus, they cleaned up a few. Jennifer Coolidge won Best
Jennifer
Female
Coolidge, yeah.
Actor in a Drama Series. And I think it won a couple for the, for the actual series itself.
Yep.
Male actor in a television movie or limited series was Sam Elliott from 1883.
Oh,
the old
go.
bloke with the
the old
mustache.
guy with the mo.
Right.
Which really, he's just the same person in every role he does.
100%,
Yeah.
but he found the role that really works for him, didn't he?
Great show.
Yeah.
So that was good. I was a bit upset that only Murders in the Building aren't really cleaning
get
up because I
anything?
think that's a really good one. But the one thing that took me aback this morning, and which I then shared with my friend Natalie, was male actor in a drama series comes from this show,
What is that?
which I've never heard of.
You've never heard of.
I've never
You've
heard.
never heard
I've
that.
never heard that.
That is from Ozark, and the winner was Jason Bateman.
Oh,
Ozark is one of the great Netflix films. Is it Netflix or Watch the Sound? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But it is unreal,
Netflix.
and everybody enjoys it.
Now,
you
Harry,
guys.
you watch Ozark?
Yeah, brilliant. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
that's what everybody who watches
Everybody.
Ozark
Marty
thinks
Bird,
that.
Harry. Marty Bird.
Who's
guys.
that?
Jason Bateman.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't know.
Protagonist.
There's a problem, you see.
Yeah.
Nathan and I can't watch Ozark.
We cannot watch it. We will not watch it. We cannot watch it.
We can't.
We can't.
And it's because of Jason Bateman.
Because we did an interview with Jason Bateman years ago and he was a prick.
There,
stop.
said it.
We, at that moment, it wasn't even a conscious thing. We at
It's
that
like
moment,
it
the
turned us off.
fibre of our beings will not support anything that he does.
And the thing
Do you
was,
remember the
before
movie?
that... Yeah,
Your
it was
interview?
Couples Retreat.
Couples
It was a
Retreat.
terrible
It was
movie.
terrible. And that's our thing with him. That's our thing with him, right? Is when Kristen Bell and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff in
Yeah.
there.
They
and-
went to Tahiti.
Anyway, but my problem with that is it was a terrible movie. Don't blame us.
Yeah, that's right.
When you're doing press, you can act. We've seen it.
Yes, and you've won a SAG award.
So
we
you're
know
an actor.
you can act.
happy about your dumb movie.
And we
Don't
were
blame
very
me.
keen to talk to him because
Oh,
we're
Natalie.
massive fans.
Couldn't even
What's the show you
the
guys
lead
used to
up. We were
watch?
talking about how amazing he was in Teen Wolf 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Which people don't celebrate enough. It's all
Yes.
about Michael J. Fox in Teen Wolf 1.
That's
but no,
true.
you took the role of the werewolf in
And
high
made it
school
work
and
for
made
you.
it actually real for me. And then there was Valerie. He was in Valerie.
In Valerie.
What's the other show that we love? The funny one?
Oh, Arrested
Development.
Development.
Arrested
You want to know about
Development.
Arrested
That was the
Development?
one.
I've
Arrested
erased it
Development.
from my memory
Yes.
because of this interview. Loved Arrested Development so much. Wanted to talk to him about that as well as this stupid current project at
Ugh.
the time. And he was a terrible one-word answers. Just
Yeah,
gave us nothing.
completely
And
disinterested.
so that's why we can't watch Ozark.
But
and
even
we won't
knowing,
watch Ozark.
Natalie, even knowing, and to both of you, Nathan, you've got a black belt in watching TV. You
I do.
represent Australia, no doubt, if
I'm a
there's an Olympic
sensei.
sport. Everybody knows Ozark around Australia.
Sure.
No,
Your
we
mum
know
and dad
that.
would have watched it.
Sure,
Your mum and dad
sure.
would have watched
We
it
know
and
that.
loved it.
They have. Everybody.
So then
I
you've
have
got
not.
to go, okay, can I set this aside?
No,
'Cause this is
no, because we can't
pop
set it
culture.
aside
We can't set it aside.
because of the way that he hurt us.
Sean, do I want to watch it?
Yes. Can I watch it?
No.
You're both people of principle. And it's taken to this
I honestly
point.
thought you were going to say something else then.
It's taken to this point.
And it's somewhere floating between like very strong principles and sticking
Yes.
to it and holding a grudge. Yes, I'm holding a grudge.
Yes.
Yeah, you are.
But,
Yes, I'm
but
holding a
also,
grudge.
but it's to our detriment because he doesn't know. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't care.
He doesn't
but,
care.
But we're missing
He's never
out on
cared about
Ozark
us.
because of the way he made us feel.
Yeah. So
We're suffering.
You're suffering. I get it.
we would like to talk about this 13 24 10. We'd like to know. We'd like to talk to other people of principles. All right.
Has Jason Bateman
you
hurt
have
you?
made a call and you will not budge. Whatever it is, however you're hurt, however you're upset, whatever stand you've taken, you will not budge.
Yep.
And if it's holding a grudge against something, then
Yeah,
that
that's
is
right.
fine.
That's
That is
fine.
fine.
And if
But-
you know that holding that grudge or that principle is ultimately even hurting you because you're missing out on
We're
stuff.
missing out.
Yeah, we are missing out. We're the ones that suffer because of this. But when you've got principles,
Yep.
it's just the way you have to live
Yep.
your life, you know?
Yeah, so here's the deal, right? People of principle should be honoured. So that's why we're giving somebody 3 sessions at Stadium Carts
Oh,
for them
that'll
and a
do it.
friend.
Oh.
We can't get enough of Stadium
Give me a
Carts.
go.
Stadium Karts is Australia's high-octane outdoor karting experience around Optus Stadium. You can book now at stadiumkarts.com. It is sick.
All right, 13 24 10. Are you like Nathan and myself? You are a person of very strong principles. We want to know what it is. Are you a woman of great principle, Ellie?
Nah, you can twist my rubber arm for anything.
Oh, I don't know
Anything?
about that.
Yeah, you definitely hold a grudge.
You hold a grudge.
That's what we're kind of
Are
talking
you
about.
kidding me? I don't even know what you hold a grudge against, but I know it's out there.
Nah.
What about that time that guy honked you lightly to see if you were leaving your car park in a loo? Then what happened?
So I got out of the car and went back in the shop so that he couldn't take my spot. Yeah, that was one time. That was a long time ago. New year, new me. I'm turning a new leaf. My new motto is you catch more something with honey.
Flies with honey.
Flies with honey. Yeah.
How's it going?
Got to work on
Where's
that.
the honey? We haven't seen it yet.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hello, Hayley.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Hayley.
Are you standing firm on something, Hayley?
Yeah, so I refuse to download TikTok because I feel like it's a young generation kind of thing. And I've, said, no, I'm never getting it. I'm not getting involved. And then a lot of my friends have started getting it. And they're some of them, have children, that sort of thing. And they're like, oh, it's such a great tool. We get all of these tips from it. And I just refuse to download it. I'm like, no.
Hayley, there's so many hacks. You can learn how to
There are
make a
so
lovely
many
bolognese.
Yeah,
Not just that.
I've heard it all.
Yeah. And if you say if there's something cultural comes up, the series Wednesday came out, all the girls are doing the Wednesday dance, and
Yes.
they're even really great to watch. I mean, it is.
I mean, the thing is, though,
Yeah.
if there's something that really hits the zeitgeist, then they report on it.
They do.
on news.com or somewhere like that, or it'll show up on Instagram. So you don't
Yeah.
have to. You can get
No,
by
you
without
can.
it.
You can.
Hayley,
It'll
my-
suck you into a deep hole, though, if you do get involved.
Hayley,
100%,
may I
Hayley.
ask you a question? How old are you?
Because you sound young.
I'm a millennial. So I suppose, yes, I'm still a part of the younger generation, but I'm 30 this year.
You're not 100, Harry.
Harry, how old are you? How old are you?
30.
And what are you on?
We put a couple hours into TikTok. So there's money to be made.
Sam, how old are you, Sam?
29.
And
29.
and TikTok?
TikTok?
Absolutely. All the best stuff's on there. And it's people who refuse TikTok are just watching the videos re-uploaded onto Instagram.
Instagram anyway, yes.
So, just
So
get
then,
the app.
but then why, if you're seeing it on Instagram, why do you
Seeing
need
it
TikTok?
late.
But if you're a
Right.
person of principle, you've got
Yeah.
to stand by your decision.
And I stand by Hayley's decision.
Yep, good on you, Hayley. Shamim, hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
Great, Shamim. Okay,
Hi, Shamim.
talk to us. What have you got very firm principles about?
Anything Apple. I have a Samsung. I've had an Android.
Yeah.
And I refuse to have anything Apple in the house. My husband had to go from an Apple phone to a Samsung when we got
To show his
married.
love
Yes.
for you.
No.
And even the kids, they have everything they need is Samsung. We don't even have Apple TV. We're not allowed to watch Apple TV.
Don't even
Wait,
have
so
apples in the house.
where did this originate from?
Because I got an Android phone when I first got a smartphone, and I thought Apple was way too expensive, and I just went for a Samsung.
Yes.
And then I got teased mercilessly by my cousins.
Yes.
And then it just was like, everyone was like, oh, Apple is so much better. And I went, no. And I just didn't, I was like, no. Everything now is Samsung, and it's just as good. Android is just as good.
You can't believe that,
It's all
Shamim.
It's all good fun, Shamim, until somebody tries to airdrop you a photo and goes, oh.
And not just that, though,
right.
Matt. It's when so I mean, you would have been in this situation, right, where you've gone, excuse me, to someone, can you just take a photo? And they look at
Yes.
they look like you've handed them something from outer space.
Absolutely.
Because none of us know how to take a photo on a Samsung.
Absolutely, and it's the same thing when they give me an Apple phone to, I do a lot of signing on Apple phones, and
Yes.
when they want me to take photos, I look at them like, what have you just given me? So I do the same thing back to them.
Shamim, the interesting thing, so Apple's given Samsung an absolute bath in this
Yes.
thing because people are like, Android, what? But I love that principle.
I love that principle
I
too.
think we'd all like to do that.
No,
think-
because
do you
Samsung
think?
has
No.
got the better technology. It really does.
Everyone says the camera's better.
It does, but I will not go to Samsung. What does your partner think of the Apple ban?
Oh, the fact is that he has a Samsung phone, so that's all that actually matters now.
You made him give it up, though.
Yes.
You made him give up his Apple.
But now he won't go back to Apple.
No, you won't let him.
Apple now.
But is he a bit resentful about the fact that you made him give it up?
No, not at all.
There's some great shows on Apple TV too that you're really missing out on, by the way.
Yeah, but Ozark was really good as well.
Touche.
Well said,
Right back in our face.
Thank you. Kirstine, hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi,
You
Kirstine.
sound like a very principled woman, Kirstine.
Yes.
Talk to us.
So it's probably been about 40 years now, and as kids we used to play at the back of the Adelaide Festival Theatre and play hide and seek in behind all the box, the ticketing office and everything.
Yep.
And we were there after school one day, and my sister and I aren't very loud kids, but we were still playing hide and seek, and Barry Humphries was doing his practice for his night show.
Yeah.
And he ripped us new backsides. I just had to remember what time of the day it was.
Yeah.
And so he went off at us for making noise while he was practicing. And since then, if he comes on the TV, like with Graham Norton or anything like that, I just turn the TV over.
No Dame Edna for you.
No Dame Edna. No.
No Dame Edna for you. No.
For 40 years.
Oh, possum.
What's the other character he does?
Les Patterson.
Les Patterson, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know
Andy
what?
Stone's
I do have
one.
to say, though, I mean, like, it's
a good
you're
principle.
not missing it. It's no Ozark. It's
It's no iPad, is it?
Kirstine, that's good, mate. Thank you for your call.
Thank you, everybody. So
Barry
funny.
Humphries.
3 sessions at Stadium Karts for you and a friend. Stadium Kart, by the way, is Australia's high-octane outdoor karting experience around Optus Stadium. You'll love every second of it. Book now at stadiumkarts.com. It's going to go to Shamim.
It has to.
Oh, but Shamim, we're going to throw your Samsungs on the track.
Sounds
Don't
fair.
you dare.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Now, remember when we were in lockdown?
Yeah, not really. Just seems a distant memory, doesn't
We
it?
sort of got lockdown light. But
Yeah, we
we
did.
do know that, pubs and all that sort of stuff were closed. And remember in 2021...
it was like the size of gatherings was very
Yes.
much limited for quite a while.
In 2021, the George Hotel, there was that whole thing on the news about them because they had a New Year's Eve party where 200 people came. They tried to
that's
black
right.
out the windows
Yes.
with black plastic. And anyway, footage got out. People were enraged. And there's
Yes.
been a court case going for the entire time. Well, that sort of wrapped up, right? So one of the guys that was in charge of it, he pleaded guilty and was handed a suspended 7-month jail term, right?
Right.
But the other one, he sort of denied his alleged breaches, and the magistrate said that because he had sold tickets and pocketed nearly $4,000 from the proceeds, he was not as culpable as the other guy because his name was not on the door, so he wasn't the licensee.
Yes.
Right. So instead, he was fined $6,000 in total, so $2,000 more.
Plus, yeah.
So he made $4,000, so he's down $2,000
Yes.
now. Then that had to be paid before he could be released because he's been detained. This is so funny. They say this is when the bizarre scenes in court started. Keen to avoid any time in a cell, he paid the fine from his phone as it was set in the dock. It was only later he discovered via the court registry that BPay transactions take between 3 to 5 days to clear, meaning that while he waited, he would have to remain behind bars.
Oh, BPay got him. Oh, yes.
So anyway, some of his friends there not putting some
Yeah.
money together and got him out. But that is so funny.
But then he's got to get his money back as
I
well
know.
because he's paid it on BPay. So now he's got to apply to get it back again.
That is
Oh, the old cash flow might be under a bit of pressure in
That'll
the
be
next
more
few
than
weeks.
3 to 5 days, I'm guessing.
So BPay, I wonder if they offer PayPal. I pay everything through PayPal.
Yeah, right.
And
I
PayPal
do.
goes straight away because sometimes funds take a little while
Yes.
to transfer.
Yeah.
So PayPal, Apple Pay. They're my two go ones.
Remember when you set up me PayPal account? I only used it for getting those shoes. That's the only time I've used it.
PayPal's great, Sean.
Yeah.
It keeps
And
you
it protects your
accountable,
money.
gives you a statement of what you've been spending on
And
it
it
as well.
also it protects you if something goes wrong.
So literally,
yeah.
if I've had things that haven't delivered, PayPal will just suck the money straight back for you on your behalf, and you don't have to go down that track.
I didn't know that there was no clearance there. That it's just the transaction happens. Like
Yeah,
in
the
that court
transaction
case, if he
happens.
went with PayPal, he's away. He's
Mate,
out
I'd
the
be
door.
in prison as we speak if it wasn't for PayPal.
The number of fines Nathan's paid on paper.
Are you kidding me?
It's like you pay and it's your pal.
God, lessons learned.
Yep, there we go.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Zach, come over here.
How long have we worked
How
together?
long have you
Zach?
worked with us?
I've got to go on the radio now.
Yeah.
You're on the wireless, Zach. You work on a radio station.
3-4
Going
years?
on 4? Yeah,
Going on 4 years. So Jack does all the production. So whenever we do a competition, that's what he's the guy that makes it sound all
Mostly the fart sound effect.
great. Yeah, it's really
Yeah, all
good
the
at
good
it.
stuff.
Anyway, so I was just like pointing out how he has hardly any hair on his arms, and I was like, everyone
Compared to
feel his
Sean.
arms because he's got like little, like it feels like baby arms, not the size, just
Like
the
a Siamese
softness
cat.
of his arms. And then you just told us, what did you tell us?
Jermaine, that we all know and love.
Yeah, who used to work with us, yes.
The fabulous dancer. He is my second cousin,
Yeah.
I believe.
Because your mum is...
Mauritian. My
Your
mum's
mum's
from
Mauritian?
Yes.
Have you ever been to Mauritius?
Yes, when I was 15. Loved it. It was amazing.
You don't look like you've ever...
But
Nightlife is horrendous, by the way.
my dad is from the Bahamas.
What?
Yes.
What are you talking
about?
Was he touring with the West Indies at some stage in the late 90s?
Are you kidding me? You don't look like you are the product of Mauritian...
Where's your tan, mate?
Because I'm in the studio making stuff for you all the time. I'm just locked in there.
Your mother's Mauritian, like proper
wait.
Mauritian.
Yes,
And your
yes,
dad's
yes.
from the Bahamas?
And from the
Yes.
Bahamas.
Yes, yeah. I'm a tropical...
We're going to need
You're
to
not.
see pictures of
You
your
are
parents.
so Caucasian.
We need to. we need to see
You're
your
like
parents.
Me and Nathan are like...
You're like the whitest of the whiteys. How does this work? Amazing. Yeah, we need to see pictures of your parents,
Oh my God.
please. All right, thank
Now.
you.
It's the Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
And I can put you in Nova's First Class and 50K.
Okay, so the boarding call went out this morning, and the name being paid to the gate was Ricky.
Right.
Ricky Martin.
We'll take a Rick as well.
Yeah,
Well,
why
wouldn't
not?
you? Hello. Who's this? Hello.
Good morning.
From Lansdale. Who's this?
Oh, it's Rick. Hello.
Hello, Rick. Rick. We didn't really celebrate the Ricks too much. Rick D's and the weekly top 40.
Oh.
Rick
Yeah.
Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Rick, well, it's paying off to be a Rick today, big guy.
You're on the standby list to win Nova's first class of 50. Rick, where would you go? Anywhere in the world, Rick?
Look, at the moment, looks like we're just going to go to darts just down the road.
You go there first class? How we get you?
First class in the work van, take the family, and we'll have a week there.
Make it to have it. All right.
Dart.
Well, there you go.
All right.
You know what I love?
Living the dream,
I
Rick.
love good, solid, local, realistic dreams.
Let's go to Darlington to see who we found. Hello.
Hello, it's Ricky here.
Hi, Ricky.
You're so fun, Ricky.
How are you, Ricky?
We are a bit extraordinary here. We've actually got two Rickies in the car.
What do you mean?
Yes, well, myself and a friend of the family who I'm giving a lift to, and she's a Ricky as well.
What are the odds?
Stop it.
Two
I know.
Rickies in one car.
I don't like that. I reckon you used to be able to
Little
split
Ricky
up.
and Big Ricky.
Yeah, you know how you have the president?
You're right,
You don't
'cause-
can't have two...
Because if there was an accident, then we need one Ricky to be safe.
We need one,
Yeah.
We'll have to find another one.
Yeah, yeah. Ricky Lake.
Yes.
Ricky Lake.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
she was
That's
huge.
another one.
Remember
She
she was
was.
like,
Yeah.
everyone watched Ricky Lake and then she just went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, enough was enough.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais. We
Oh,
forgot about
amazing. Ricky
Gervais.
Grace. What about him?
Grace.
Well, Ricky Ponting's number 4 on the
Oh.
list of Rickies in the world.
Yeah. In the world,
bad.
of worldwide
From
Rickies.
Australian golf.
Ricky
Yeah.
Ponting.
Ricky, where would you go in the world?
I was just thinking about that. Probably somewhere like Canada.
Lovely.
Can I suggest
Nice long
Dutch?
trip.
Apparently it's all the rage.
But I was hoping for a bit of a longer flight.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
but look, just don't put it out of the mix. A week in Dutch, it
Yes.
sounds magical.
I mean, you're right. You're not really utilising the first class aspect of this prize. Ricky, you're officially in the running, so good luck, okay?
Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you very
Go
much.
over, and there was 4 other Ricks or Rickies that have been put on the list
yes,
as well.
That's true. Never miss your name being called out. Download the Nova Player because you can stream all day long. You don't want to miss a thing.
Oh, of course, and don't forget there's a wild card hour. There you go, wild card. It's between 10 and 11 today with Benny, and they'll be taking all names.
All names.
I know.
And
Wild card. I just came to me.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
So there's a 3-year-old boy and his name's Marley, right?
Marley. Yep.
Yeah, and he was having a great time at his house, and he'd had a bath.
Yes.
And then, as you know, a lot of kids after the bath, they got no room for clothes.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're just going to run around naked.
Nudie runs.
So he's just playing around his house naked, and then he decided to go to the window and wave at his neighbours while he was nude.
As a 3-year-old.
As a
Who
3-year-old.
cares? Okay.
How lovely is that? Shortly afterwards, 2 police officers turned up to his door and warned him not to hang in the windows with no clothes on.
He's 3.
He was terrified and thought he was going to get arrested.
Yeah, sent to prison. What are you in for, mate?
Yeah. The officers turned up at their home and said that they had received a report of a naked child in a window and they had to follow it up.
That's not a crime.
Is this not
Is that a crime?
This is
He was
insane.
warned not to hang out of windows naked. The mother came out and said, you'd think the neighbours would have better things to do than report toddlers for being naked, and you'd think the police have better things to do than go look into it.
Well,
there are thugs and murderers out there.
Yeah.
Why are they wasting time on a naked 3-year-old?
I know that's the first thing people say. There's murderers out there, you can go and do this stuff. And the poor cops are getting this call, but they have to go and have a look.
But can't they just go, is the child in any distress? No. Is it
just
offending
waving his
anybody?
wang around?
He's 3. Like, I don't think you can call it indecent exposure. So then you go, can't they just talk some sense and go, hey, settle down, it's not a crime?
No,
and if
my
it
thing
bothers
is,
you, go knock next door and say, hey, do you know your kid's naked in the window? And their mum will either go, oh, I don't care, or, oh, that's terrible, sorry, and then move on instead of wasting police resources.
I am fully in support of when you call the police, wherever that goes to, for that person to listen and then go, you're being stupid and hang up.
Yeah, I agree. That
you're
needs
being
to be said.
you're being
That needs to be said,
ridiculous.
mate. Yep.
Goodbye. And then
Like you
hang
hear
up.
those cases in America where there was a woman who rang the cops because McDonald's had run out of apple pies, and you go, well, that's not a crime.
Yeah.
That's just
depends on how hungry you are. A couple of bongs you might
But no, but
think
sometimes
otherwise.
not apple pies. But sometimes I have to say I've been through like a chicken store, a chicken takeaway store, and there was no chicken.
Oh, that's right.
That's a crime.
That's a crime.
Because then
it's not a 000 crime. I'm sorry.
Maybe
to be
1
honest,
3.
I'm sorry.
To be honest, I think it might be. Because then just, call yourself Red or Treat.
Yeah. Not the chicken part. I get it, Nath. I get it.
You know what I mean? We would like to know if you've been in a situation where you've had to go, wait there, what, you got the police involved for this?
And maybe if you were a copper and you've been
yes.
through this and copped those...
Some of the dumb call-outs you've had.
Our old friend Marcus, he was a policeman. He would have
Give us a call, Marcus.
I'm sure you would.
Have someone called the police on you for something ridiculous? Give us a call, 132410. We're going to give somebody $150 to spend at Morris Mead. You can get a new do and hide from the cops.
Ooh, yes, exactly.
Book a Summer Lights cut and colour package and get a free hot air brush worth $175.
Auto barjon, as they say.
Yeah.
All right, 132410. They called the cops for what?
I always laugh, Ali, about the time that we called the cops that morning when we got to work, because we both drove past. There was a charity clothing bin just at the back here, and we saw 2 men holding onto what seemed to be a woman's legs and putting her into the bin.
So you
that
thought
was a murder.
So we thought they were dumping a body. So
I remember you watching in the window at the back here.
So then we went down there because we got brave enough to go down there together, and then we rang the police from on the phone and we go, oh my God, no, she's not moving. Her leg's not moving. And then suddenly we saw her legs kicking, and then
she got out.
And then she got out. We went, oh no, they're just flogging
They're
clothes.
just
It's
stealing
okay.
stuff.
Cancel.
There's no crime here. Oh, wait. No.
But we go downstairs and honestly thought, well, what if we are complacent to someone shoving? Because people at the time were shoving bodies in those clothing donation bins.
And Nathan, never forget the time that you wrote help on the newsroom window.
Oh.
And then a year
in
later...
reverse. So from outside you could see help.
A year later, the police came up because somebody spotted it.
So someone was working over on the roof of the Regal
and saw it
and saw help
and
written on there and called the police because they thought someone was being held in duress at the Nova newsroom.
And they had to come in and check in the newsroom to make sure
that no
okay.
one was kidnapped.
And the answer was yes, there was duress.
When Lexi was our newsreader.
He had to come in and we had to show them we weren't kidnapping anyone.
And then we went, oh yeah, that's been there for a year.
Oh my God.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Hi, Mel.
Good morning.
Hey, lady. Mel, were the cops called on you or did you call the cops?
I didn't call the cops. It was actually
actually my first-year apprentice that somebody called the cops on. She was on her way to my house, and she was right behind me. Anyway, she took a while to get there, and she comes up to my apartment, and she's white in the face, and, you know, I'm asking what's wrong, and she said that someone had called the detectives, and they had followed her, found her car, followed her, and they started questioning her about, you know, what she does and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And they checked her, they wanted to check the boot of her car because there was some hair hanging out of it. She just finished work, and it was her mannequin head that she practices hair on.
I mean, a dead body in the back of the trunk.
I do appreciate that a concerned citizen thought maybe that was an actual person.
I'm pretty sure that anyone that's...
It would have looked a bit scary.
Anyone that's ever kidnapped someone and put them in the boot, I'm pretty sure they make sure their hair's not...
their hair
I think that's one of the first things you do is you make sure their hair's in.
Is it?
I think it would be, wouldn't it?
I think you're right.
Oh, sometimes
100%.
you're throwing them in the dark, and
Yeah, but I'd always just like, you know, like push their hair
use
in.
your phone to light just to check
Or
if there's
before
any
I kidnap anyone and chuck them in the boot, I always hand them a complimentary scrunchie.
the hairnet. You don't want them leaving evidence in the car either, just saying. Thanks, Mel. Sharon, hello.
Hello, how are we?
Good, Sharon.
What happened? Were the cops called?
A little background. I'd lost my husband, and I was living on a property with my children, and we're living in Carmel, and on 28 acres. I woke up at 5 a.m, being a brave mum, hearing someone calling for help.
Yes. Cool.
I've woken up my teenage children to go, look, someone's calling. My son went, oh, don't worry about it. My daughter sort of went, Mum, you need to call the police because this sounds really bad.
Okay.
So I'm on the phone to communications saying, where is it? Don't know. So I'm driving around the property, and they could hear it.
Yeah.
Going, yep, right, we're sending a car. We can stay still. We'll get someone there. And I said, look, it's getting really loud. So I got out of the car from where I'd parked at the back of our property, then got the giggles to find it was a goat.
Oh, a goat!
A goat. Yelling help.
Yes.
Well, did you help it?
A screaming goat.
Well, I did. I was very brave and let it out of its fence. It had its head stuck in the ring lock fence.
Oh, so it did need help, and it was calling for help.
Was it calling help?
That's what it sounded like it was calling. And there was a Facebook meme going around about goat calling for help. So once it got out that that's what has happened, I had it for quite some time. And one of our friends works in the police department, happened to be working communications. So he rang me going, are you okay? Is this all right? And I'm going, I don't know what to do. I was in tears thinking someone was being murdered or whatever. And it was a goat. So for many years, and this is now 10 years down the track, every year I get the goat meme.
Oh, you would have to.
Sharon, did the police end up coming out to help the goat that needed help?
They turned out, and he turned up just as I got it out, and the poor guy was in hysterics because it was still bleating like help, but we got it out.
It should have said thanks.
We
think
we've found, Harry's found a goat calling for help.
No.
Let's have a listen.
Let's have a listen. Let's have a listen.
Yes, that's exactly it.
A little bit of a stretch.
Like if you're lying in bed at night on a farm on 28 acres and you hear that, you would think that was somebody
good
screaming for
background,
help.
Sharon. Thank you.
Sharon's having flashbacks now.
Okay. So far we've had a wig in a boot and we've had a goat calling for help.
Yes.
Both things that perhaps the police have got better time to handle.
That's a great point.
13 24 10, we want to know the stupid reason why the police was called.
Keep calling. $150 to spend at Morris Mead is going to go to somebody.
Nathan, Nat and Sean and the podcast.
Let's talk to Laura. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Great, Laura. What happened?
Okay, so for years I've been doing this when I get a scam phone call, and I'd had two from South Korea this particular day. I put on a Polish accent and tell them that I've just killed my husband. My husband's dead on floor, blood, I carry on. And they generally hang up. So this particular day, the guy, well, whoever it was, but he didn't say who he was either. So next thing, we end up hanging up after a couple of minutes. Yeah. And then about 20 minutes later, I get a call from St John's ambulance, and they said, we've got an ambulance on the way. We just need more detail. And I said, I'm sorry, that's been a mistake. Cancel the ambulance. And then I rang my husband, who was at home this day, and then I started to tell him, and we could hear the dogs bark.
Yeah.
cars from Yanchep, and they had a picture of my husband in the car, so they knew who they were looking for.
So the police came with a picture of
Straight
to look for your murdered husband?
Yes.
So the scammer has called the cops, and they're a scammer, or was it somebody
was just someone
legitimate
just
that
ringing
you got
up at that
confused?
time?
It ended up being the ANZ Bank, but he never said it for the whole conversation.
Well, can I just say how community-minded the ANZ
Yes,
Bank
exactly.
is? That is amazing that they report a possible murder.
So, Laura, when the scammers ring, you just go straight into they ask you a question generally, and then you just go, no, I've killed my husband. How do you approach that? Or you just...
So, well, you know, I'll wait and see who it is, because generally there's a pause when you answer, so you know it's coming from another country or something.
Right.
So, you know, once I realise that they're just something like that, I go, oh, you know, my husband dead on floor, I hit him with pan, blood everywhere.
Is that your Polish accent, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not great. Oh, yeah,
My
it's
husband
not
dead
very
on the
good.
floor. I hit him with pan.
Laura.
I think we just want to apologise to all the Polish people
Yes, that's
listening.
right. Exactly. Thank you, Laura. Dzień dobry to all our Polish friends. Sarah, hello.
Hi.
Hi,
Sarah.
Now, were the cops called on you, or did you call the cops? What happened?
Well, I called the cops because this was when I was living in Melbourne a few years ago now. It was late at night and I was asleep, and my boyfriend at the time, he worked in hospitality, so he was away at night working. And I was, asleep, and I could hear some scratching at my window. So I was sure someone was trying to break in. So I called my boyfriend at work and I said, someone's trying to break in, you've got to come home. He's like, well, I'm not going to make it in time, so call the police. I was like, okay, so I've called the police. I could still hear the scratching. The police have showed up with torches and they're checking the house. They've tapped on my door, the front door, and they said, I think we found your culprit. And there's a massive wombat at my door. A wombat.
A wombat.
Yeah.
Where were you living in Melbourne that there's a
Bloody wombat.
roaming the street?
Yeah, bloody flaming wombat.
Just in suburbia.
What?
Yeah, it was a wombat.
Yeah,
that is
it was
police
started
worthy.
at my window and then it moved around the house to the front door. So when they came, he was actually hanging off my front door, the fly screen door. Yeah. And they literally said, we found your culprit, and laughed at me.
Now, did they then at that point, because a wombat is so foreign to see, say, excuse me, miss, is this your wombat? Did they ask if you owned the wombat?
No, it definitely wasn't my wombat.
Did they take the wombat away?
No, I think it just moved on.
To what? To the next house where then they call the police again because no one thinks there's going to be a wombat at their door.
Yeah, exactly. Jumps on the bloody tram and heads to Richmond or something.
You can't, I'm sorry, if you find a wombat in suburbia, you can't just let it go. Don't you then, like, corral the wombat and take it to some wombat centre?
A wildlife rescue mob or something?
You don't just let a wombat go.
Are we talking inner city? Where
were you?
What suburb was it?
I actually can't even remember. It was so long ago, and I moved around so much. I think it was like South something.
South something.
Oh, South Yarra. No.
It was a long time
But it
ago.
wasn't a wombat area, was it?
Well, I don't know. I feel like wombat might have been common around Melbourne.
What are you talking about?
I lived in Melbourne. Never did I see a wombat.
When you were living there, how many wombats did you come across in your daily adventures?
I just assumed it was normal.
No,
you're in suburbia.
If something you've never seen rocks up at your house, it's not normal because you've never seen
so
it.
wombats are normally in Queensland.
No, they do have them
Down
in
to Victoria,
but in the
South
country.
Australia,
They're in the country.
Yeah, okay.
Not
Because they're
in-
digging their own holes and stuff.
Just by the same way, I don't have an echidna in my backyard here. It's because they belong in the country.
But my thing with this is still the police let the wombat go.
No, that is completely valid. Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah.
That's very puzzling. Monica, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Mon.
Going to get to finish
confused.
this off, Monica. Why were the cops called? What happened?
Okay, so I live in Carlisle and there's been a bit of crime lately in my area. I live on a long and narrow block and no one can ever find my front door.
Yes.
If ever anyone comes to my house, they have to ring me and say, Mon, where is your front door? So to get to my front door, you have to go down the side of the left-hand side of the house to get to the front door.
Yes,
I
know
got
what
ya.
you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my husband went to Wedge Island and I was by myself with my two daughters. And I couldn't sleep because it was 1 a.m. and I get petrified.
then all of a sudden I hear someone running to my front door. And I'm like, oh, my God, what is that? I quickly turn on all the lights, ring the police. I look through my front door and I can see a guy standing there in high vis.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, my God. I started crying, shaking. I was like, can someone please bring the police? There's someone standing at my front door. The lady's like, no worries, stay calm. I'm like hysterical. And they're like, is he still there? I'm like, yes, he's just standing there. I don't know what to do. Oh, God. So I was like panicking. Yeah. She's like, no worries, hold the line. The police are on their way. Are you okay? Yes. And I was like, okay, I need to ring my husband to tell him. So I rang my husband, who was in Wedge Island. It was 1:30 in the morning. He picks up. I didn't think he'd get reception. And he's like, hello? I was like, hey, there's someone at our front door. I'm freaking out. Police are on the way. And he's like, oh, my God, Mon, it's the HelloFresh delivery guy. It's our dinner for the week. I was like, are you
HelloFresh at 1:30 in the morning?
I've seen it.
Yes, apparently you can get it delivered.
Yeah.
And the police were on the way, and I was like crying, and I was shaking. And he goes, open the door, and I bet there's a box there. So I opened it, and there was a HelloFresh delivery.
And inside the box was a head? No, it was some teriyaki chicken and rice.
And so, but I was like, why would the delivery guy just run? And he's like, why didn't you call out and say, who is it? I was like, I didn't want to...
No, because if it's a murderer, you don't want to engage with them.
No, exactly.
But not many murderers wear high vis, in my experience, like in the middle of the night.
So embarrassing.
Oh, Mon. That
good one, Mon.
was really great.
Don't deliver HelloFresh at 1:30 in the morning.
Some people
early.
work different times.
I know, that's freaky.
You know.
$150 to spend at Morris Mead. By the way, everyone who
such great stories.
It was so great. You all should be winners, but you're not.
Because Sarah with the wombat story, it was a bit of a wombat. Got us over the line, actually.
The wombat.
Morris Mead.
The suburban wombat.
Yeah.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
10K. Win 10 grand with Nathan and Sean at our 10K Thirsty Camel drive-through at the Vale Bar and Brasserie. Shop the way you want with everyday low prices at the Camel.
One of these two fine people is about to score a spot at the 10K Thirsty Camel drive-through this Friday at the Vale Bar and Brasserie in Yangebup.
Will it be Frank or Lara? We're about to find out. We'll start with you, Frank. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Frank. We've been asking people what vehicle they'd rock up to. What are you driving?
I've got a Mustang.
Oh,
what, a new one or an old one?
What a flex.
2017 convertible.
Hello, Frank.
Well, what colour have we got?
It's white.
And racing stripe or no racing stripe?
No racing stripe.
What colour interior?
Black.
V8, V6 or V8?
No, it's the EcoBoost.
Oh.
The 4-cylinder EcoBoost turbo.
Because he loves the environment.
So it runs on compliments made by dolphins. It's really good for the planet.
Frank, well, you've
Frank,
certainly set a bar there.
Eco-friendly.
You're up against Lara from Karrinyup. Hi, Lara.
I cannot compete with that.
No, Lara,
Well,
you can.
Lara,
It's just the way you deliver it.
Yes.
Tell us about your vehicle.
So my vehicle, it's a Mazda station wagon
Yes.
with feed-in side panels from when I hit the column at the shopping centre.
See, Frank doesn't have that.
No,
you're
Frank doesn't
having
have
that.
No. What colour is it?
It's silver.
Was it a Mazda 3 or something, Lara? Station wagon?
6.
Oh, 6. Yeah,
That's a
nice.
6,
Yeah.
right? Wouldn't want to get a scrape into with anything else.
No.
That's what they say. All right, guys. So we'd like you to be at our 10K drive-through. I mean,
But only one of you can.
Only
That's
one.
the way it works. Here's what's happened. We've got a series of questions to ask you. If you think you know the answer, buzz in with your name. If you're first, you get to answer it. Get it right, you get the point. Get it wrong, we'll move on to the next question. It is the best of 5. Let's test your buzzers. Frank?
Frank.
A bit of a delay. Lara?
Sorry.
Lara.
Okay, good.
Here we are with question number 1. Which actress stars as Barbie in the upcoming film Barbie?
Lara.
Yes, Lara?
She's Aussie, blonde.
Quick.
Oh, my God.
1, 2, 3, everybody. Margot Robbie.
Robbie.
Frank.
Sorry.
In the background. Robbie.
Frank, you knew that one, Frank, did you?
It's
did.
nil all, everybody. No point there.
Right, listen in.
Robbie.
Frank and Lara, question number 2 coming up you now. What company makes the Air Max trainers?
Frank.
Nike.
Frank's on the board, everybody.
There you go.
He leads 1-0.
Matt Damon starring in that new film coming out.
Oh.
Matt Damon is the star of that new movie coming out about
Nike Air Max.
Oh.
Movie about shoes.
Yep.
Question 3.
Is he playing a shoe? He can do anything.
That's one half of the shoe.
Here we go. Question 3. Which country does the Nasi Goreng meal come from?
Lara.
Yes, Lara.
Frank.
Going Thailand.
Incorrect, I'm afraid.
That would be the green chicken curry.
Indonesia.
All the buzz
It
beef.
means in Indonesian fried rice.
There you go.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Thank you, Natalie.
What's the score check, Natalie?
Frank leads 1-0.
1-0. Here we go with the next question. Which Shania Twain song starts with the lyrics, "Let's go, girls"?
Lara.
Frank.
Lara.
Man, I feel like a woman.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do.
Tied it up. That means it comes down to this final question.
Who?
Can we get a buzzer check, please, Nat?
Okay, let's test the buzzers. Frank.
Frank.
Still a bit of a delay. Lara.
Yeah.
Lara.
Still a bit late. A delay 2 days later. Frank goes, yeah. Robbie.
There we
All
go.
right, this is the deciding question.
Question is, who won the men's title at the 2023 Australian Open?
Lara.
Yes, Lara.
Hit the pat.
Incorrect,
He
I'm
did
afraid.
not Novak
That
to make it
means
22 titles.
we do not have a result. It's still tied at 1-1. We have to go to a tiebreaker, and tiebreak rules will apply. Okay, here's what happens. If you buzz in, you get it right, you win. If you buzz in and get it wrong, you lose, and your opponent, who just sat there, will win.
What a loser.
I know.
This is a good one.
Okay.
This is a good one.
All right, you want to ask the question, Nathan?
Okay,
Go
if you
for it.
want. Okay, cheers. A lot of pressure. A common idiom meaning to cry loudly is to bawl one's eyes what?
Lara.
Frank.
Lara?
Out.
Lara's done it, everybody! Oh, went down to the wire.
Gee, she
Lara,
answers some questions.
you're coming along to the
Frank.
10K drive-through Friday, March 3rd. That's this Friday. Someone will win $10,000. Even somebody with a dent in the side of their car from when they hit a column in the shopping centre.
Good on you,
car park.
Lara.
Lara, you've got a cheeky
Awesome.
$150 to spend at Thirsty Camel as well. Is all yours, Lara.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, mate. Excited to see the Mazda. And I'm really disappointed I'm not going to see Frank's dolphin-hugging Mustang.
Me too.
I know. All of us are. Maybe you can just swing on by, Frank.
Thank you for playing.
Thanks so much.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh.
No,
Cheers,
just
Frank.
want to go.
Sounds like Frank has got worries.
I know.
He's got worries.
Yeah.
Frank, you should have answered the Novak question. Should have known that one.
Yeah, you should have got that one right, Frank, everyone's saying.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hello, Ben.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Benny.
Buddy.
Any word on if Snoop Dogg did a shoey last night? Have we heard?
Great question. I haven't heard any feedback myself at all. Anyone?
No, well, but I've got a question about Snoop Dogg, right?
Yep.
So Snoop Dogg flew in the other day and he posted a video of him driving down Great Eastern Highway, which is like, you can pick a better spot. You know what I mean? It was just like random buildings.
But I mean, I guess he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know
that's
that.
his first impression.
He's just like, anyway, so he's doing that. And in the article I was reading that he travels with a professional joint roller. So he's actually got someone hiding that.
As you would.
So straight away, he smokes his stuff all the time. So straight away, he would have to get off the plane. He can't bring it with him. He would get off the plane straight away. He'd have a local hookup, wouldn't he? Straight out. He would
We'd have to. We'd have to.
Why are the police trying to arrest Snoop Dogg? Why?
Release
Because
the
literally,
professional joint roller.
wherever he is, he's going to be carrying.
Yeah, no, but he can smell him coming.
Let's talk about the professional joint roller for a second. Like, that's a job. So that guy, at one stage, his mum's like, "You're never going to amount to anything." He's like, "Look at me now."
I know.
Rolling joints professionally
I
for
know.
Snoop Dogg.
How tight would
in
they
your
be?
face.
Exactly.
They must be absolutely
I know, how
Mickey
good.
Mouse.
I know. Gosh. Be
It's on
way
his
better
link.
than the professional bong puller.
That's on his LinkedIn.
Doesn't sound too good either, does it?
Changing the water all the time.
Oh, my mate Sheldon was there. Did
Yep.
not do a shoey, he said.
Didn't
No
do a shoey.
shoey.
Sheldon, was it a
job.
great concert?
Yeah, I didn't give any opinion, but
Oh, give us an opinion, mate.
Disappointed.
but we can confirm didn't do a shoey.
There you go.
Okay.
Answer that
Sheldon.
question.
There you go.
Hey, it's been good though, Ben. Every week there's some big artist
know.
coming to town.
It's a good time
I feel
to
like
be
we're
alive.
starting to be legit here in Perth.
Ed next week. Look
Yep.
out.
Yep.
No, don't worry, there'll
Great
be a
concert.
massive dry spell.
Sheldon has got back to me.
Yes.
Great concert.
Okay, full
Yeah.
stop. Full
Bang.
stop.
There we
And then
go.
he also said penny. Penny. Penny.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.